This is a story you will only see here on Fox 4. This morning, we are laying out the plans for a school in LaBelle that dates back to the 1930s. LaBelle City Council unanimously approved renovating and refurbishing Daniels Elementary. Now, we first told you about the school in a story we did back in February. This was the first known school for black children in LaBelle, and it was started by a woman named Selma Daniels. This is the only photo of Selma Daniels I could find. Born around 1898 in Alabama, she moved to LaBelle with her husband in 1930. This letter, written by Selma herself, describes LaBelle at that time as a small place with growing pines, oaks, and palmettos.
Schools were segregated. I grew up doing that at that time.
62-year-old Henry Gresham tells me by phone, at that time, black children in LaBelle had no access to education other than going 60 miles round trip to Clewiston. But as more kids came to the area, Selma Daniels started having classes out of her home, and she wrote in her letter, "Lady Luck began smiling on us." The idea for Daniels Elementary was born. The first school for black children in LaBelle, right on the corner of what's now called Selma Daniels Avenue and Manatee. She said the principal of the white school at the time told her it should be named Daniels Elementary. "This is an honor I will cherish all the days of my life," Selma wrote, and a place Dorothy would cherish all of hers.
What's it like to be in here for the first time in 60 years?
Oh my God, I feel like I'm 15 or 16 years old. Miss Daniel had a stage where we did little plays, like a little kitchen, and she made sure everybody ate. And this right here is a book library.
So what you just watched was just a piece of the full report I did back in February. We wanted to show you this again this morning to give you an idea of just how special this old, tattered building really is. Now, after the original story aired, a contractor named Carl Lorenz reached out to me. He told me he wanted to help bring Daniels Elementary back to life. So together, along with Brandon Jett, the FSW professor who first told me about Daniels Elementary, we went to the city of LaBelle to make it happen. And now that plan is moving forward.
It was actually Lisa Greenberg's fault.
When Carl Lorenz saw our story about Daniels Elementary School,
it piqued my interest. I saw the story. I knew nothing about it. But to see you out here and to see that lady, knowing she went to school here, this is a part of history that needs to be preserved.
He contacted me on social media, and we got the ball rolling. I reached out to City Commissioner Julie Wilkins, who's now the mayor of LaBelle.
And I'm sure people from the community would even help.
She met Carl and I at the school to walk us through the steps to get the renovation and refurbishing of Daniels Elementary on the City Council agenda.
This represents something.
Then Carl got right to work, brainstorming how we could restore what's left into something the community could be proud of.
This building's in disrepair, to say the least. What do you think it's going to take to kind of bring it back?
A lot of love, a lot of community effort, but it's doable. Clean the outside of the property. My guys can trim whatever trees that need to be done. This gets set up, we repaint it. We need to check the roof so I can make sure that we don't have holes. Oh, this is all, that's all solid wood.
But refurbishing Daniels Elementary,
Can we go in?
Yeah.
is about more than what it looks like on the outside.
You know what? The beams are solid. The floor isn't, but your beams are okay.
So Carl's idea is to turn the front doors of Daniels Elementary into a giant window. People go up a ramp to look in,
You can see everything from one place.
and they can take in the entire inside of the school.
We make sure the structure is structurally sound, but since we're not allowing people in there, it's not going to cost some money to do a lot of repairs.
Then it's about transforming what's inside these four walls
This would all need to be stripped off.
to honor the memories of children who otherwise would have been forgotten.
That ceiling just needs to come down, just for people to come in and take a look. They can see it, and they can kind of get a part of history back in their mind that has kind of been quelched. We want to return it back to as close as original as we possibly can. I want to be able to get desks that were that period. I want to be able to put stuff on the wall, bookshelves, whatever was there, replicate it as close as possible.
And that's where 79-year-old Dorothy Johnson comes in. She was a student of Selma Daniels.
And I just remember her sitting there behind that desk with those long red fingernails.
She'll tell us how much of the building, from the sink to the bookshelves, is original.
Miss Johnson's going to be a huge help.
And because there are no photos of the inside of Daniels Elementary, she'll paint a picture of what the classroom looked like.
You think if we can put those chairs and desks in here, we have maps on the wall or whatever she might have had, an old chalkboard, how much better this would look.
And listen to this. Carl has volunteered to do the labor for the entire project for free.
I felt that it is a duty of mine to, now that people are aware of it, to get this done. And the most expensive part of any job is your labor. Well, if we donate that and we get this set up and it's something these folks can be proud of, that's the payment. All right, that's the payment.
Really is so exciting. Now, Carl presented his plans to LaBelle City Council and they unanimously approved. So now we're looking for volunteers to help with the project. You can come out, pick up a paint roller, help in any way you really can, or even just donate to help pay for some of the supplies. So we've set up an email address. It's danielselementary@gmail.com. If you're interested in helping in any way, just send us an email to that email address. I also have all this information and the link to the original story when you go to fox4now.com. And Trent, Chris, Lauren, the really exciting part is that after all of this is done, the plan is to go to Governor Ron DeSantis to see if he will deem this a historical site.